Welcome back to episode 4 of my Age of Wonders 3 challenge series, specifically the 2-unit challenge series, where I can only use 2 military units for the entire duration of the game for all the battles, and I'm versus 5 allied AI Emperor opponents. Last time it was turn 6, now it is turn 13. I've just had my first really spicy clear of a lost library that I wanted to show. So let's start with that, since that's what the people want. And I brought a builder into this as a non-military unit to help do some splitting and siphon some attacks. So they ended up charging, which sometimes is good, sometimes is bad. Generally, I like being able to set up on either side to be able to split these troops. But I can work with this in this case. So they're going to come by, and I'm hoping to split. Ideally, it'd be 1 and 3, which is what it ends up being. So I'm using these 2 units. So he can barely slice the pie there, but just 1 shot, so no problem. So these guys taking the bait. I thought he would come up here, which would have made things easier. That's not the case. So he was able to get up in his face here, using the sprint to get more hits. Tagging him, which is great. Rather they go for him. So he's now dead, and I'm running this guy. And this guy sneak in here, again hoping to split some people. I don't want him to die, but if he needs to die, you know, that's okay. So again, trying to have him come here and have him come here, and this guy here. So they go up and they come around. So again, a good split. So we're well on our way to good stuff here. Keeping him safe, using him as bait. I meant to hide him a little bit more, but that's okay. So we can go in, and that martial arts is really useful for keeping the damage down. Having them come together, I really need to get a healing item forged and sent out to them. I have some forge activity finally, which I'll be excited to report. Get up in his face, so that's groovy. Get up there too. He's going after them. So, yeah. The rest of the battle was easy. So he lights up, and then we close the gap. Boom. So, it was well done. I was happy about that. What other stuff recently? We'll talk about hero levels and such. This was a clear of a necro circle, which can be dicey sometimes. Because these guys can, with their researchers, can really mess with stuff. I was able to tempt some units to split them out, so that made things a lot. So this is a perfect split, right? It's much easier to kill them. So the rest of this is not terribly impressive, but the splitting is really key to making things work. So what interesting stuff has been happening? We're up to level 7 and level 8. So let's talk about what I've invested in. Yeah, we have Dispel. It might have been from the library clear when I got that, but otherwise familiar spells. Still at that +1/+1. What has been new since turn 6? Martial arts you saw in action. First strike you saw in action. And I did a hero upgraded fire and light prior to this. Was it prior to this? Prior to this, I can't remember. But I did take some of that to take some of the edge off. And I'm currently sitting on a fair amount of points, which I haven't yet invested, as I haven't finished the turn yet. But Blood Brothers for Strong Will, it's a wonderful ability, but until I hit spirit damage dealing enemies, I don't need this quite yet. So I'm thinking about other options in terms of melee command, overwhelm. These are probably situational that I may take if I find I need them. But that's what's happening with that. And over here, Oh yeah, in terms of items, no items there. Here I picked up a helmet, gives some defense and resistance as long as you don't mind the poison reduction. It's pretty useless. Probably end up selling this soon. I picked up Assassin Strike, of course. What else is new? Projectile resistance. Free movement. It's really useful. Once you're from that, so that's where we got. That's 0 because this takes it down. And I'm sitting on some points because I'm thinking about making sure I have. Oh yeah. This is the other stuff. I love Shadow Form. I had said earlier in the series plus 40, but it's plus 60 physical protection. So this is amazing. I really love Shadow Form. So I prioritized getting her above the 20 CP threshold. So I invested in a level of cloak and an additional level of cloak and dagger, so that I could cast that. And I spent another 5 points on the Shadow Form. So that I'm really happy about that pickup. That will prove really useful. I've got a builder sitting here. Heroes keep trying to join, but of course, given it's the 2-unit challenge, I keep turning them down. This place has been vassal forever, but otherwise, pretty slow on meeting new cities. So this is a life drain sword, and I'm going to move towards tireless boots soon. Life drain plus tireless boots, you can keep your health up infinitely if your defense and resistance is high enough, and they keep churning into you. I put Monster Slayer on because I had 1 point left on it, and Monster Slayer is one of my favorite Slayer bonuses generally. I don't put this is not useful for undead, and it's not useful for machines. I'll be forging a different sword with Demolisher and 4 points of shock damage on it for those types of battles. That stuff will come soon. So there's that, and I'll be forging tireless boots. So that is where we're at with that. You can see where I'm at with CP, going into some more. A few levels of warfare. And thinking, this is still pretty low, so I'm hesitant to do this, but I've got a few sites that could use that buff, so I'm thinking about that. So that's where we're at. So this has been episode 4. I will see you in episode 5.